So today we will continue on red-black tree. So in the last lecture we saw the red-black tree as one of the balanced binary search tree, and we have already seen how to do insertions in while maintaining the properties of the red-black tree. So today mainly we will be concentrating on the deletion of items from the red-black tree. So any binary search tree should support mainly these operations: insertion, deletion, search, and probably you can ask what is the minimum, what is the maximum. So all these operations, these binary search trees should be supporting in very efficient manner. What do you mean by efficiency? Most probably it should be in log n time. So we have already seen, since it is a binary search tree, it can support search in log n time. The main problem was while inserting elements and deleting elements, the height of the binary tree may not be maintained to be order of log n, and all these algorithms, all these operations, their complexity are mainly bounded by the height of the binary search tree. So our goal was to keep this height to be as good as possible, and we have seen if we maintain the property of red-black tree, there are three properties. That is, two red edges cannot come consecutively on any path. The black height of a leaf, for any node to any leaf, the total black edges should be the same. It was the second property. What is the third property? Right, that was the first property actually. Every edge to a leaf is black. So these are the three properties we have seen. If we maintain these three properties, then we can guarantee the height of the total binary search tree will be order of log n. We have deduced that. But it is not very difficult to come up with the properties or come up with the conditions which will guarantee log n. But the difficulty arises to how to maintain those properties, because most of the time it is the insertions and deletion which cause the problem. If you insert from one side only, or if you delete from one side only, the binary search tree may be very skewed. So you want to avoid that. And these properties are basically implicitly, when you maintain it, it does that. What were the operations by which you are balancing this binary search tree? Are the rotations. If you look at the rotations, there are two types of rotations: single rotations and double rotations. And if you go back to your previous note and see, while inserting, to maintain this red-black property, we are basically rotating something to take care if some side of the binary search tree has become a little bit heavy. That's the main goal of this rotation. While rotating things like double rotation, if you see, it's more or less tries to keep a balance. And when to do it, that is guided by the conditions of the red-black tree. It's automatic. So I am not going over the insertion again, because I hope you remember all those steps. But let us do the deletion a little bit more carefully. So what we are doing now is deletions of item in red-black tree. So we are trying to delete a node. So we are trying to delete a node X that contains the item to be deleted. There can be two ways it can be specified to the deletion routine. Either we can say, okay, delete this key value if it is present. So in that case, with that key value, you have to search the key value in the binary search tree and then get the node X and delete it. Or a pointer to the node X can be given you directly. Okay. So that way it is easier a little bit. But this should not cause any problem to us. Anyway, it's fine. So the first thing what we do, we find a successor or predecessor of X repeatedly. You do it repetitively such that you reach a leaf node. So what do you do? Suppose we take the successor. So we take the successor of x, all right, and exchange the value of x with the successor of x. You remember in deletion of binary search tree we did that. We first found the successor of that node and exchanged that value with the x, and then we deleted that successor. So this time also we will do first that, but we want to reach a node where both the children are leaves. So how can you do that? You do it again. Repetitively you do that until unless you get to the node where that node has only true children. Not only true children, both the children are leaves. So that's the first operation we do. How much time does it take if we do this? Order of age. Although we are doing it repetitively, but every time we are going down the tree. The first successor will take you to some level. The second successor search will take you to lower level. So you cannot move more than height of the tree. So total time for this part of the algorithm is order of h, and we know this h is order of log n, so this operation is order of log n. So let's assume that, and then we do that. So first thing is find a successor of x repeatedly in the tree. When you find, you also are exchanging the items between the element whose successor you are finding and the element which is in the successor. Always you are exchanging that. That you have to do, because ultimately our goal is to bring the item of x to that node which we are going to delete, which will have only 2 leaves, exactly 2 leaves. Okay, so you have to make that exchange also. Don't forget to make that exchange. So find a successor of x repeatedly in the tree, and suppose suppose we reached a node, say lambda be the node with 2 leaves reached by this procedure. So that's the first thing we do. Now we'll start our movement upward the tree, in the upward direction of the tree from this node onwards. We'll take care, we'll delete actually this node now, and we'll take care of all the properties of red black tree. So pictorially it means, suppose this is the node we have reached, lambda. Again I am denoting the age with red color with this mark. Now what is this notation means? So this is the node, either this edge is black, which is denoted like that, and or this edge is red. I am just taking both possibilities, but in actual tree there is only one case. By denoting this way, I will show you what are the changes. If it is black, what are the changes? If it is red, what are the changes we make? All right. So basically we will delete this node, because the value of the key value in x, in the original x, has transferred here in this node, and this node we are supposed to delete now. So when we delete, we make this change, this node remains as it is, and this node deleted means this will be replaced by one leaf. Now there is a problem. So I know I have made this lambda to be a leaf now, but if this edge was red, this becomes black, which has to be black because this is a leaf node. Remember the first property of the red black tree. So if it were red, I make it black, no problem. But if you are already black, we don't know what to do. For the time being, assume that this black will be two blacks. Okay, as if we are having two black edges at that edge. For the time being, just assume it will not happen actually in the tree. But while taking care of this updation, we'll just assume there is as if there are two black edges. But we have to take care of it. If there are two black edges on the same edge, then we have to take care of it to make it one black edge. And that's the only violation for red black tree here. Right? See, suppose this one was red and we have made black, we have not violated any property of the red black tree. First property is valid. Second property must be valid. This cannot cause a two red edge on the same path. Third property must be valid because look at this node. From this node there is one black edge to the leaf, and from this node also we are keeping one black edge. So black height, that third property on the condition on the black height of any node, that also cannot be valid, invalid here. So this case is fine. Only the problem occurs when this edge was already black. Then actually the height was two blacks. Can you see that? This is one black, this is another black of this node. So if that was two blacks, I have to remember it is two blacks, because remember in the tree there may be other nodes also may be having the same number of black heights. So I cannot change this black height suddenly here without taking care properly. So that's why I'm just assuming this black edge has become two black edges. Okay. But at the same time, I have to take care of this, because in the red black tree there is no such condition that one black edge will be represented twice. So this is the only violation of RB tree here is the double black edge. Now we'll go back and see how can we take care of these double black edges. I assume a generic situation now. So what is the generic situation? So a generic situation now. Generic situation is this: I have a node which I will call it as nu. So we are taking care of at the node nu now. So in generic situation, suppose we are taking care of this node. Below this node, we have taken care all the properties of the red black tree. We have assumed, because we are moving up the tree. Okay, so we assume that below this node everything has been taken care of, but it might be that the conditions for these conditions to be valid, some other conditions have propagated up the tree up to this node now. So you have to take care of this node at this point. So assume, first thing is, so case 1, incoming edge of nu is double black. I already told you this is the only violation. The case 2 will be incoming edge of nu is not double black. Then what do you have to do? Nothing. We do not have to move up the tree anymore. Everything is taken care of. Since this is the only violation, that the incoming edge of nu is double black, then only you have to take care something. So that's the case 1. Right. So assume mu is equal to nu dot p. Basically this is the parent of nu. That's the convention we use. Dot p is the parent pointer of nu. So this is the parent of nu, and tau is a sibling of nu. So the situation, if I draw the picture, is this. So this is the node nu, this is double black, this is the parent which I am calling it as mu, and the sibling of nu is tau. Yes, sibling of nu is tau. Yes, the sibling of nu is tau. What is the meaning of sibling? So they have the same parent. Yes. So this is tau is the sibling of nu. Some of you have a misconception about the sibling, it seems. Sibling means they have the same parent. So tau is the sibling of nu. Now the situation can be just the other way also, like this can be the right child, this can be the left child, but that will be symmetric case. Okay. So if we see only this case, you can take care of the other cases also. Now the first condition is, I say that the tau cannot be a leaf. Can you tell me why is that true? I am sure if this situation arises, then tau cannot be a leaf. No, it's not because of that. Right. The problem, the thing is here, there are double black edge. Remember, I never destroyed or I did not manipulate the black height of any node. Black height of any node I did not manipulate or did not disturb. To keep the black height to be the same as the original tree, I made some black edge to be double black. So what does it mean? From this one to any leaf, it must be at least 2 black heights. But if that were to be true, then this cannot be a leaf. Everybody understands this? For that to be true, that this to be a double black edge, that means mu has height, black height at least 2. But if this were a leaf, suddenly this has only 1 black edge, but that cannot be true by the condition of the red black tree, and I did not disturb the black height so far. That's my assumption, the way I am operating. So it means this cannot be a leaf. So tau cannot be a leaf. Now let us see, we have several conditions. Case 1.1, h from mu to tau is black, like the one I just drew actually. So let me draw it. So this is the situation. Let me just draw it again. Mu nu tau. So h from mu to tau is black. This is the first condition, and we know in this case tau is not a leaf. I'm just repeating. Now under this case 1.1, we have several other sub cases. So case 1.1.1. The first case, both outgoing edges of tau are black. I know that tau is not a leaf, so it must have 2 children. So if we assume there are 2 children, so what is the situation according to this case? Both outgoing edges of tau are black. So if I draw the picture, this is mu, this we know the case, and tau has 2 children and both are black. So this is the situation. So in this case what we will do, In this case, what we'll do, we'll demote. I'll tell you what do we mean by demote. Demote mu and recurse on nu is equal to mu. So these are the two steps. So what do we mean by that? I'll just tell you. This becomes nu. Basically, by demoting mu, it means the black height of mu is decreased by 1. See what did we do? This one was black, that I made to be red. Both were black. So suddenly if I do this black height, I made it red. What did I do it? Because I wanted to take care of this double black. So I want to make to be a single black. So that means I have, but if I cannot just make it a single black, that will disturb the black height of this node, because on this side there are at least 2 black. So I have to, if I have to make a single black on the left hand side, I have to take care, I have to make some black edge to be red on the right hand side. Did you understand what I am saying? So on the left hand side there are double black. I want to make it a single black. That means it will decrease the black height by 1 on the left hand side. But to be consistent with the property of the red black tree, I have to make one black edge on the right also red. That's what we are doing. This is red, so black height is decreased. So it is made a single black, which is fine. But now the problem is, suddenly I have decreased the black height by 1 of this node mu. But remember, up the tree that may disturb the black height of, that may make a difference in the black height of two nodes. So somehow, but what we will do now, we will propagate the problem up the tree. So if the incoming edge was red, what we will do, we will make it black, no problem. Incoming edge was red, I make it black. Basically we transfer this black up the tree. This way this will not disturb the black height of anything. But the problem occurs when the incoming edge was black. What do we do now? We make that time this one to be double black. But that's fine. We took care of everything, but when we made the double black, we have moved up the tree by 1 level. So we can recurse. So now you recurse on taking that nu is equal to mu. So this one was mu. Now you are taking care of this node at this point. Now you recurse on this node on this. So that's the entire motivation of demoting mu. Demotion means you just decrease the black height of mu. You did not. You don't have to recurse, because even if I say recurse on nu, you will see there will be a case. I just said this is under case 1. Case 2 will be incoming edge of nu is red, or incoming, then you will take care. We will say that it is done. Automatically this recursion will terminate. So could everybody follow how we are taking care of this black height business? The only violation we know this double edge, and we are propagating up. Okay. Now the natural question is, how long we will go on this moving up the tree, because there will be double black, but at the root there is no parent. At the root, ultimately, at most you can move up to the root, but the root does not have any parent. So there is no incoming edge. Basically, if there were double black which you are propagating up, that will be lost, but which is fine for us. It is lost, so what? Because we know by our keeping the invariance that everything below that node we have taken care of. So if we have taken care of every node below the root, we are done. So basically pictorial, you can think that something double is coming, propagating up the tree, and when it reaches the root, beyond the root it just gets lost. But that does not harm us. So that's what case 1.1.1. So have patience, we have several cases. Case 1.1.2. So this time nu is left child of mu and right outgoing edge of tau is red. Remember, the previous condition was both were black. The both edges going out of tau were black. Now we are saying at least one is red. That is the right outgoing edge of tau is red. Okay, so what is the situation now? If I draw this picture, it becomes this. So nu is this, mu. Now we have tau. I have one, and this one I know red. This can be black or this can be red. I don't know. I don't care about this one, the left child of tau. But the right child of tau, I know it is definitely red by this condition. So if this is the situation, then the remedy is single rotate mu to left and done. If you do this, you will see you will be done. So if we single rotate this, it becomes tau comes here, mu goes here because it's a left rotation. Then this becomes nu. Now this actually remains red or black. Actually this is this part, as it remains as it is, and this becomes the right child, that is this one. So if you left rotate mu, this is the situation, and this becomes now black, double black now goes out, this is, and this remains as it is. Now you can see, since double black has gone by the single rotation, I don't have to move up the tree anymore. That by our convention it must be tau, right? Yes. See, it all depends how did you define, but the way we defined it, it should be tau. Yes, single rotation of tau. So this is the situation, and you can just verify that everything is now okay. All right. See, what do you have to take care? The thing which is coming here, there was at least 2 black height. So that we have to maintain, and we have maintained that. See, now that edge is attached to this tau. The parent of mu is now parent of tau, but the parent of mu is having the same black height as previously, because there were on the left hand side these 2. Now these 2 have been taken care. On the right there were 1. That is 1. We did not disturb the black height of the parent by doing this operation. And since we did not disturb and we did not have to propagate double black height, we are done in this case.
But has the left child of tau in red or black?
We are just keeping as it is. Red, the left child of tau, even if it is red or black, we are just keeping it as it is. We are not disturbing that one at all, because that does not affect us.
It affects us in that way that now the right child of tau, it won't have the right part of tau. There won't be 2 black edges. So.
We don't need two black edges here.
So had there been that
There was no, see, now tau has moved up. Its black height should be the same as this one. Oh, I see what you mean. You mean now tau was having red, I have made one black.
Yes.
That's the condition you are saying. So in that case, yes, you were right actually. So if this were red, you make it black. If it were black, just it's all right. It's all right, because on the left hand side of the tau now we have introduced one more black. That's why. It's all right. See, previously tau on the left hand side, yeah, this is all right. This one is the one which is new one also. Okay, so this has taken care of. This is all right. Sometimes it gets a little bit confusing, but these operations are everything all right. What if you get confused, what you should do? Take an example and check how these properties are really keeping track of it. You will see everything is all right. So this is the case 1.1.2. There is another case now, case 1.1.3. Oh, by the way, in the last case there is a symmetric case. Symmetric case means it's just the opposite. See, this time it is left child, mu is the left child of this one. Now suddenly suppose the mu is the right child of mu, and this one is the left child, which is red. You can take care it just in a similar manner. It's just a opposite case, symmetric case. So there is a symmetric case. So which I'll just not explain, but there is a symmetric case. Here it is left right, that will be right left. Yes, in that case definitely we have to rotate to the right. Now case 1.1.3, now this case again nu is left child of mu, and this time left outgoing edge of tau is red. The other one is black. Suppose this is the case. So if I draw the picture, this is mu, this is nu, this is double black. Now this is tau, this is red, this is black, we said. So this is the case now. Now tau, the left edge from tau is red and the right edge from tau is black. That's what we are saying. If this is the case, then what we will do, we will double rotate mu. We will double rotate this way. So basically, if we double rotate,
How do we know that sigma has two children?
you can see, if definitely this cannot be a leaf.
Yes, sir.
So if it is not a leaf, definitely it has two children.
Sir,
Yeah, one child can be a leaf, that's fine, but it has two children. So if we double rotate, it becomes this, and again you verify it. This will take care all cases. I'll not go into the details of this one. This is the double rotation, and you will be done again. And you will be done in this case. Again, you don't have to propagate. So here it is double rotate mu to left, and it spins, and we will be done. If you do this, you can see there is no double black edge. Everything is fine. Just you have to look at whether the parent of mu is okay. And here parent of mu had at least two black. You are maintaining two black. No problem. This two black has gone here also two black. So everything is all right. If you do a double rotation this way, okay. So this is case 1.1.3. Now instead of there was case 1.1, if you go back to the condition of case 1.1, we can have actually case 1.2. Just see 1.1. In 1.1 was h from mu to tau is black. Now we will assume in the case 1.2, h from mu to tau is red, not black anymore. Okay, and assume there is a symmetric case actually. Assume nu is left child of mu. So this is the case. Nu, this is mu, and this is now red, not black. Tau, two children. So in this case, can you tell me what should be the case? Actually, we will do this way now, single rotation actually. So this becomes nu. So this is single rotate new to left. Sorry, this is our, by our convention this should be tau, right? Actually there are two ways to write it, that's why I get confused sometimes. Single rotate tau to left, and okay, I'll not say and recurse for, I'll not fill in the gaps. See, what did we do? If this is the case, we single rotate tau to left, so tau comes here. But now we have not taken care of this double black edge at all. See, incoming edge, we are handling this node, remember, an incoming edge of new what of double black, we did something, still incoming edge of new is double black. Then why did we do this? Incoming is right. So the point here is, by doing this we have gone back to the case 1.1. In case 1.1 we can assume, so this will be our tau now. The incoming edge to tau is black, now it is black. So we can go back to case 1.1. So if we recurse on new, it will now take case 1.1. Okay, so recurse for. So here we could not take care of the double black here, but only thing, by rotation we went back to other case where we have detailed everything, how to take care of all the double black edges. So this is case 1.2, and definitely there are other symmetric cases, and that, like if this is not the left edge, suppose it is the right edge and that is black, you can take care all those symmetrical. Instead of left rotate, again it will be right rotate, but everything is similar. The essence of all cases have been given. There are some symmetric cases I did not detail out, but that can be easily deduced what to do in those cases. So this is case 1. I said there is a case 2. What is a case 2? Incoming, in case 1, incoming edge of new was double black. It was double black. So incoming edge of new is black. If incoming edge of new is black, we are done. We don't have to do anything. Only the double black edges are the problematic case. And if it were red, actually we have taken care of it again. Red also is fine. Only double black we have to take care, and that goes to case 1. So we have taken care of all cases, and every time, each case you can see takes how much time to handle each case. No, I am not saying the total case, each case 2.1.1 without recursion. It's a constant time, it's a movement of some pointers only. So it's a constant time affair, constant space also. The extra space will be needing some temporary variable, some temporary pointers, but it must be constant. And every time you do this, either you are moving up the tree or you are stopping. So that means the total complexity of taking care of these properties while insertion and deletion is order of h, and h is log n. The entire operation is order of log n.
But in case 1.2, moving down the way.
No. Okay, let's see. In case 1.2, we are not moving down the tree. It just a one step back, but the next step onwards it will take care. Once you recurse for this new, it will be in case 1.1 and it will move up the tree. So this is the balanced binary search tree we have seen. As I already told you, there are other balanced binary search trees as well, but we will not study those ones in this course, but I can tell you some of the names which are called AVL tree. AVL tree is another balanced binary search tree which uses some other techniques. There is another technique or another type of trees called 2-3 trees, that is also a binary. No, that is not basically a binary tree because it may have some 3 childrens, but what it can it can support insertion, deletion and search all in log n time. So it's called 2-3 tree. So we will not discuss those trees, but those of you who are interested, you should go back and see how those trees also are keeping the height to be balanced, and you will see again the essential operation will be this rotation. At some point of the algorithm, it is rotating things, taking care of the nodes, taking care of the heights of the binary. And you will see this particular balanced binary search tree will be a lot of use in our algorithm design. Now we can safely assume that we have a binary search tree and its height is log n. If somebody tells you how can you keep it balanced, you just say that it is a red black tree. And there is one more point I would mention before I finish. Suppose you don't take care of this balancing or don't take care of the height, but you are guaranteed that the inputs which are being deleted or inserted, they are coming from a uniform distribution randomly. So it means, suppose you have inserted some elements in the tree, the order of the insertion can be random. Any permutation of that of those elements could have been a possibility. If that is the assumption, then you can show on an average the height of the binary search tree will be log n. But again, then you are making an assumption on the input distribution. This is not a randomized tree. Also, there is another type of binary search tree which are called the randomized search tree, which does not assume any input distribution, but take care of its height by doing some internal manipulation in its structure using a random bit. So that is called the randomized search tree. If we have time in this course, we will see how that operates. Otherwise, in the worst case, if you have to be guaranteed order log n, do this balanced binary search tree.